This is my experience with that terrible day. That terrible day was of the it just I mean, here's what I look at it as. Um okay. When my mom said this, she said this on September 5th, 2001. You have to wake up early tomorrow because of school. I didn't like that. It was the most darkest times. It was the darkest first day back to school in all of the whole childhood era. What it did was just that, just dark. And I remember the first day, the night before, was the most ominous night I've ever had in my entire life. And my experience with the whole event, with what happened to my beautiful buildings, the most prized buildings, the best buildings that I've ever seen, which I will attend. I will go to the World Trade Center in next year, I think. I think I will go to the probably multiple times, like 2 times that year, 3 times. But that's off topic for another day. But what my experience with the whole thing is this, is just this. Um, my experience is not so good. What it did is destroy. It was the greatest. It was the end of the childhood era that lasted from December 14th, 1996 to September 11th, 2001. Um, now, now we have to go through the scheduling algorithms, and that we had early dismissals every Wednesday. Every Wednesday was an early dismissal day in the year before. Every Wednesday we had early dismissals, and every Wednesday was an early dismissal day in the 2001 school year. But this day I was let off on a Tuesday. But that was the runner up of it. So when I was in day, the first day, or I wouldn't think that was the first day, but the day before, I was not liking I was not liking September 2001 from the beginning. Even in August, even even in places like in August 2001, when they said back to school, when's back to school? September 6th, 2001. When's back to school? September 6th, 2001. I didn't like that. I really didn't like the idea of going back to school. I really didn't. I liked 2001 because it was the best childhood era year until September. But I really didn't like the whole idea of back to school, going back to school with um, no support. So what happened was this: the first day, I was drinking Coca-Cola right when the day before back to school at night, and these two girls that my mom's friends with her parents said, that stuff keeps you up at night. But you know what happened? You know what? I think what it was like this. My experience with this whole event, I don't like it. I hate that month. I hate that year. I hate this month and because except for it's my mom's day. I hate it for what it did to me and 3,000 others. And I really think that. So we go back in the time periods and the algorithms, dates, and we say this. And so we usually get early dismissals on Wednesdays. And this was and I was let out a Tuesday. I was like, well, this is so fucking odd. This, this is odd in of itself. And I go into the living room. I kind of remember it because I have a long-term memory. I'm like the guy in Memento, directed by Christopher Nolan, and has the Matrix girl, Carrie Ann Moss, in it. I go into the living room, and my mom basically was like, it was just so unbelievable. My mom basically was a mess. My mom was a mess. My mom basically was the biggest mess I've ever seen her in her entire life. And I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, what the hell? And then what I was this is what I was, and then what I literally froze on the couch. I was like froze on the couch. Um, I was frozen in catatonia until 6 in the afternoon or 6 in the evening. Or 6 or 7 in the evening. I was still there, frozen like you could not believe. I was frozen, and 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 my uncle stopped by. I remember he was sitting right next to me when I was lying on the couch. I was still frozen. I was still frozen and this is what they did. Yeah, catatonic state. And my take on this was that, yeah, I was frozen in complete catatonia. I still remember that feeling of like shock, and basically I was shocked for 6 hours on the couch, seeing the best towers ever built by man, the best complex system of buildings ever built by man, just simply vanish beyond my eyes. And it's worse than that. I look at this event as just it was it, and I had no, and I was basically in catatonia for about it was very and it was and that event was definitely this is why I hate that day. I hate September 11th. I hate it. It's synonymous with mass with killing, with death, with evil, with things that are very, very unpatriotic and unthinkable. Like, how could this? And it affected my life. It affected everything. It affected the well-being of everything. And I look at that event, and the worst part is parental, which I'm a legend on because I think that they were pushovers. I know they are still. They didn't console me. They didn't sit me down and say, how I want you to get psychological. We need you to understand what happened. They didn't tell me that. They did not tell me that. They basically, it was like another day. Well, yeah, I know that too. I was doing video digital camera experiments in 2001, and that was a the Raymond 14 revolution could have started 5 years earlier. I would have been a lot better, much more successful. I would have probably been a mix of Mr. Robot meets Mark Twain meets Stone Cold Steve Austin meets, I don't know, Ronald Reagan or something. Because I'm like a pseudo statesman. But that's for a whole other thing. The parental stuff back then, they didn't, and when I was looking at these events, and the week after it, I was feeling degraded. I felt degraded that whole month. I felt degraded. I was like degraded. It was like, when I was in September 2001. After that, I remember, I went out to eat with my family, my cousins, my dad, my mom, everybody, my brother. I don't know if my brother was there, but what happened was I remember one thing. Um, while I was in the bath, I was still very degraded from the whole event. I was in like I think after the event, or after I was at this restaurant. This is where we were out to dinner. And what happened was, I was basically soothing in a bath, not feeling well. I was not feeling well the rest of the month. I had I had physical, I had digestive issues. I had I felt degraded, digestive issues. I felt like I had problems the rest of the month. I felt like I had problems with things, and it just didn't feel well. And what happened with that is, it culminated until I started tearing up pictures, in October. This was in October. I was tearing up pictures. I was so distraught, and basically, and my grandpa, who at the time had to like subdue me on the carpet, like because I was so distraught. And my mom, and this is why I don't think parental is very good. I think that they lack empathy towards tragedy, and they lack empathy to events that have everything to do with death. They lack empathy, both of them. And this is why I think that they are people who I don't really think that, I think that they are cowardice in that instance, for not consoling me or soothing me, because I lost a lot of pride from that event. I lost all my pride in '01. I was having technological advancements. I was having technological feats mattering to me. What did they do? Because while my friends were watching Jimmy Neutron or Dragon Ball Z or Fox Kids Digimon, which I watched, what did they do? What did I do? I was basically doing digital camera experiments. I could have started the Raymond 14 revolution 5 years earlier, because I had the capabilities. I had a digital camera. a computer in the living room, um, a tape recorder, and that's something else. And what they did was what I and so this was in July and August 2001. What happened and what basically this did was destroy that. And so what happened was I had no um, pride. I had no pride at all for that event. That event, I don't even want to think about. I don't even want to see. I don't want to know. I don't want to look at those numbers, 9/11, because 9/11 is also the number you call the police. It's also the number you call the ambulance. It's the number you call the fire department. I don't want to see those numbers. I don't want to look at those numbers because they invoke so much evil and death and mass murder and mass chaos and mass destruction of mankind. I don't want to see those numbers because those numbers represent death of an era, of the childhood era that was once so humble. There was once the holy grail of one's domain. And I don't want to see what it did to the people that it inflicted itself upon. And I look at these events that are so not becoming of having conscience, and that's the truth. Until next time, Ray Mega Leader signing off.